come to realize that there are bad guys and there are worse guys and nothing else.
Welcome back to Lost in a Tangent, where we try to keep us sanity while watching our bunch of movies. Today we're talking about the Thunderbolts. Before we get started, I did enjoy the movie, and all the actors did a great job. The trailers did sell me on a different movie than the one I watched, kind of like Sinners. They sold a survival thriller and then delivered a deep movie that just so happened to have vampires in it. I could only appreciate it for what it was once I realized that and then watched it again. The only thing I didn't like was the ending. I liked that it wasn't just an action-packed beat up the bad guy ending. It was more personal and nuanced, but I didn't trust the audience enough to commit to the nuanced ending that they were setting up, out of fear that it may not be satisfying enough. It was still actiony and didn't dive deep enough into the emotional stuff. But I am getting it myself, so let's just. They all get set up as these fuck-ups, seeking purpose. Nothing much happened to Red Guardian since the last time we've seen him. He doesn't seem all that affected by Natasha's death. He's just a bum reminiscing about his glory days. Do you think they made him a limousine driver because Logan was one? Or so they could overhear a conversation he had no reason overhearing? But then it brings up the question, why would you talk about murdering people in the back of a vehicle of a driver that you for some reason didn't run a background check on? But anyways, Walker is living in the result of his fuck-up in Falcon the Winter Soldier. Well, fuck-up isn't the right word. I'll make a video on that. He doesn't have any deep trauma, just like a lot of regret. And he uses anger and insults as a defense mechanism. His ex-wife is a bitch though. The child is like a meter away from him, in a cot, doing nothing. It wasn't like they were on a table or on a balcony or painting or any other situation in which he had to actively watch them. And then she lost her fucking mind. Now this could have been the last straw in a string of many irresponsibilities, but then show us those, because this was fucking stupid. Anyway, Bucky is the most mentally stable. He went to therapy. And Ghost, well, the script didn't care about her, so why should I? No, just they just undid her character development during the 5 years Hope was dusted. Anyway, I bring this up because there was no reason to bring everybody into the trauma field. They didn't even bother showing us their rooms. Your friend died. You should be a little more sad. And you said you had a dark past, so you should be a little more sad. And you already tackled the stuff in therapy. You're just seeing this stuff in 3D. Quick tangent. I'm stalling at this point. Walker catches this slab, but then needed like 3 super soldiers to carry it because he sustains the weight by himself. Then their strength doubles. Still not effective. And then it triples. And then suddenly they can move the thing. Their powers just seem very inconsistent. Like Red Guardian blocks this rubble and is unaffected, but then gets hurt by a guy on meth with a sign. And talking about a guy on meth, I think I was watching the honest trailer for Thunderbolts, and in the comment section I saw a whole bunch of people saying like they felt represented by the character Bob because he has a drug addiction and he whatever. But they didn't really tackle his drug addiction. He just said he had one. And also that the only reason why he has superpowers is because he was looking for drugs.
Now allegedly there's a message in there. I don't know what it is, but maybe you can explain it to me.
I am disappointed, but not surprised that in all the progressiveness and body positivity, they still make small dick jokes.
Oh, we swung our tiny dicks. It was a lot of fun.
Insults, really, but we just kind of fucked up. Anyway, onto the reason why I clicked on this video. Yelena is this empty person seeking purpose.
You know, like, what is the point in any of this?
Only defined by a job which isn't fulfilling. She spent like the whole movie teetering at the end of her rope. Every time the end presented itself, she was accepting. Not willing to die, but unwilling to keep fighting to live. Until she meets Bob, and now she has purpose. Save Bob.
Stop Val and save Bob.
So this is how I would have fixed the ending. So they have their team up. Yelena is happy. She has a family. She has purpose. They go save Bob. But now Bob is sentry. He wrecks their shit. Yelena's feeling broken down. Like a fly with wet wings. She's crawling, just surviving, until her wings are finally dry, and now she can finally be free and happy. And then as suddenly as she found happiness, God smacks her down again. Then Bob has this God complex, attacks Elaine, and because he's God, apparently he can't hear a woman sneaking up on him with heels on marble floors. But whatever. Now Yelena's at her lowest, realizing that happiness is just not in the cards for her. Then Void shows up, starts Transformers 3ing everybody. Everybody starts running away, but then Yelena stays behind. Not to try to save Bob, but to give up, because she's just done. And to us, the audience, she's dead. Like dead. No! This scene was fucking brilliant. The suddenness and the finality punctuated by perfect sound design, holding the shot just long enough for us to have an emotional reaction, and then cutting to Red Guardian's reaction, which was fucking excellent. His reaction builds on our initial reaction, culminating into this extremely emotional scene. Not to keep bringing up Transformers 3, but when they did the fake death out thing, they trusted the audience enough to wait like 10 minutes before revealing that they survived. Anyway, I bring this up because that's what I think Thunderbolts should have done. So Yelena's dead. Then the Thunderbolts are trying to save everybody they can, and everything is just going to shit. This lasts for like 8 minutes. We then cut to the moment that Yelena died. And she's in the room with Bob because there's no reason for her to fight through her trauma. I did appreciate the backflashes to her time in the Red Room, but it didn't expand her character. I assumed that she did some fucked up shits in the Red Room, and we didn't just see her trying to solve it. Because, like I said in the beginning, they didn't commit to the nuanced ending that they were setting up. You can't just brute force your way through trauma, which is the message they try to communicate at the end, you know, after brute forcing their way through the trauma. I like what they did with Bob. They put him in a room, and the trauma was happening in a different room, because that's how trauma is. You think you're fine until you remember. Anyways, they both in this room. They have the heart to heart. Bob explains his good days and bad days. Fuck, the acting in this movie is phenomenal. Okay, so they're both unwilling to save themselves, but care enough about each other to want to save one another.
You can find a way out of here together. Will you try and leave here with me?
So then they work together to confront the inner demons, not fight them, but overcome them. Because in the original ending, he just punches the void, then they group hug, then he accepts their wanting to save him, and that solves the problem. And then he just forgets what happens, which is not how you deal with your problems. Anyway, that's it. Fuck off.
And just remember, no one will ever be able to hate you more than you already hate yourself.